You are now listening to Imprint with Nesreen on Yahala Voice.
You're listening to Yahala Voice. I'm your host, Nesreen, and this is an all-new interview on the show Imprint. Guests featured on the show left imprints for us to learn and benefit from. Listen to us on our main website at www.yahalavoice.com. Today's guest on Imprint is JoAnn Fakhouri. She's an award-winning film producer who has been working in the industry for several years. She's a producer of a short film titled Chicago Mirage that was written and directed by Sayed Badriya. She is the owner of the company Juju Select and has teamed up to help launch the latest high-end shapewear compression garment called Curve Your Body at Elza's Curves. This is an official sponsor to numerous beauty pageants. In the studio, I have the plastic surgeon Sam Worster to give us a medical perspective on the garment as well. We will also have a designer of the garment, Mark Roscoe, on the phone with us and two testimonials from individuals that have used the garment. JoAnn, I want to first touch base on your production of films. How did you get involved with producing?
First of all, thank you, Nesreen, for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. I was involved in film for several years, actually. I started working in production. Actually, I started out as an agent, and then it sort of transitioned into working on different feature films, TV shows in Chicago.
So what do you tell us about working on Chicago Mirage?
It was a great opportunity, actually. When Sayed Badriya approached me, he had done an event out here, and he had this idea to put together a film that would sort of focus on the Middle Eastern culture and the people in Chicago. And we brought on some executive producers who were, wonderful in help making it happen, basically. And that was Nimr Ziad and Wasfi Tolmat.
So you could all have a better understanding of what the short film is. Let's take a listen to the clip.
Are you Mustafa Marzouk?
Yes, who are you? I spent 10 years in prison for something I didn't do. And nobody comes see me or help me. They run away and they turn their back on me.
Yeah, Mustafa, we were powerless at that time.
You choose to be powerless. You don't understand. I have 10 years old kid. I never held him in my hand.
Being in jail and experiencing all the trauma and the hardships that he encountered, he comes out wanting to seek maybe revenge on society for putting him in that situation. So he decides, well, I did the time, now let me do the crime. But there's a little bit of tension between his inner feelings about whether or not he should take this route or take care of his family, for his son that he never seen for 10 years, and his wife, and members from the community. For example, Asad the boss, he plays a positive role and he tries to influence him to go on the right track.
أنا طلعت النهاردة المرقت أخدتني والولا صعبة يا وصفي. Do you know your father?
My mother sleeps with my father every night.
He's the one who saved my life in jail.
A community is like a family, and if one person is trouble, we're all trouble.
I was the best dentist in Chicago.
You can be that again.
Not that easy.
The other character, which is played by Wasfi's role, takes him in the negative line, so we don't know which route he's going to take. It's a good movie about inner struggle and what to do, what not to do.
Your hand where I can see it. Kill you. Kill your family. You are divided by religion, class, and the politics, bringing back when you come from home.
يعني إذا بنشتغل مع بعض برضو نعمل البلايين.
It's an opening for future other opportunities and projects, and I hope that the community sees it and recognizes it, and once it's premiered, I think that people's eyes are going to be opened and they're going to realize that they're going to want to be a part of it.
Your generation came here to achieve the American dream, and you succeeded. There will be a new America for all.
Chicago's my home. I'm here to stay.
صوتك مع صوت ياهلا.
You're listening to the show Imprint on Yahala Voice on our main website at www.yahalavoice.com. We have an exclusive interview with JoAnn Fakhouri, and joining us in the studio, we have plastic surgeon Sam Worster. Sam, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
JoAnn, I want to first talk about the Curve Your Body, Elsa's Curves. What is the garment exactly?
So basically, this is a high-end compression garment that is used for, it's a multi-purpose garment that women can wear for as shapewear, as workout wear, and post-surgical wear.
And how did the idea come about?
The designer and owner of the company, Sayed Bedreya, he's been around compression for years from back home in Egypt. And he collaborated and decided to launch a line that would help women because his mom raised him and his sister, so he was around women a lot.
Okay.
And he would see how his mom would use the therapy or the treatment of compression from like the time of pharaohs in Egypt.
With his sisters.
Right.
Okay.
And he saw the benefits and the help, so he wanted to bring that here and merge it into the line of shapewear for women.
So how did you start collaborating with Sayed Bedreya?
He approached me and said that he's working on this project and he wants to do it. And me being a person who's worn, various versions of this, said, yeah, I love the idea and I'd love to be a part of it. And that's how we joined.
Now, I've read that this garment is worn for working out, everyday use, as well as post-cosmetic surgery. Are there different styles for different uses, or is it all the same garment?
Yeah, there's two styles. There's long and short, and then there's two colors. So basically, each length will, work towards different areas of the body.
Okay. Now, doctor, I want you to join in on this conversation. Is working out in a compression garment okay? Because I've heard that people are starting to work out with this garment. What difference does it make with or without?
Well, it really just depends on the customer. If the garment is extremely tight for a long period of time, you could have trouble with nerve compression and things like that. So you want to definitely take a break once in a while from the garment.
Okay.
You can wear it for an extended period of time, but it's a good idea once in a while to loosen it, to not, especially in the groin and crotch area, to just relieve the pressure once in a while. But other than that, it can be worn for a long periods of time and can be worn for working out or.
So if you are working out in this garment, does it allow you to have a better workout? I mean, what is the benefit of doing it?
Well, athletes actually use compression garments. Weightlifters and people like that, and even football players wear compression garments when they're playing, and it does help increase their athletic performance, actually.
Okay. Doctor, before we go to our first testimonial, this garment is said to help with post-numerous cosmetic surgeries. Let's talk specifically about post-cosmetic surgery.
Well, in my practice, and I retired in 2011, but when I was practicing as a plastic surgeon, I would use it for liposuction, and the garment that JoAnn is promoting is much better than most of the other garments on the market. It's better looking. Women like it better, and the surgeons that I know that are currently using it are very pleased.
Now, are you promoting this garment to your patients?
Yeah, like I said, I'm retired for a couple of years now, but I consult with a lot of physicians and teach them how to incorporate Metaspa into their practice, and this is the only garment that I recommend.
Okay, thank you, doctor. We have Liana on the phone. She wears the Elsa's Curves compression garment and wants to tell us about her experience. Liana, thank you for being with us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Liana, what do you wear the compression garment for?
I wear it to tighten my stomach and to give me shape. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
I wear it with everything.
Okay, great. And now, do you wear it every day?
Oh, yeah. I wear it every day. a month.
Now, which design do you have?
I have both. I have the short and the long.
Now, do you wear the short and the long different times, or for different outfits?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I wear my long with long dresses and long jeans.
Okay. Thank you, Liana. I appreciate you being with us today.
No problem. Thank you.
Doctor, some compression garments interrupt the blood flow. What about Elsa's curves? Does it do that?
Well, I haven't seen any studies on the differences between Elsa's and other garments, but I know that it's constructed so much better. The fit is better. It's more tailored to the anatomical shape of the woman. So it's, in my opinion, it should be a lot less likely to cause compression. But that being said, if anybody feels evidence of compression, like your feet falling asleep, swelling in your ankles, anything like that, then you would want to relieve the pressure and take the garment off for a short period of time before putting it back on.
So how long do you recommend wearing the garment for? When to take it off?
I think there's some natural breaks, that you can, like in morning, afternoon, when you get home from work, that anytime you can take a break from it and take it off for a short period of time, it's always a good idea. Even post-surgically, I tell patients to adjust the garment every few hours just to relieve the pressure and move it around so you're not getting too much pressure on one spot.
Okay. JoAnn, now many people have issues with the bulge that occurs due to some garment styles. How is your garment unique in that sense?
The advantage of our garment is that it has straps, so you're never going to have the problem where it's going to roll down on you from the waist, it's going to roll up from the thigh area. The back is high enough, so usually when women wear a bra and it's constricting, you have that rollover. So ours is high enough where it's going to cover that area. And that's a definite advantage because when you see people wearing like tight fitted from the back, it's not attractive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know that many of the garments that I've seen, they're either half garments and then they bulge up. Your fat pops out from somewhere. So definitely that's good that it covers all areas so that it's all tight.
Right.
And let's hear more from the designer, Mark Roscoe, who is live on the phone with us now. Thank you for being with us, Mark.
Thank you for having me, Nesreen.
It's a pleasure. Mark, tell us about the design.
Well, it really accentuates the hourglass curve of a woman's body, and that's why we like using it, because it creates a beautiful silhouette when we're designing. I do or design one-of-a-kind pieces for women, custom gowns. And we always start the process with building a foundation from the body out. And I had used for many years other compression garments, support garments from other manufacturers, and was very dissatisfied with them. And started to actually build into my garment kind of a corset, an inner foundation. When I met JoAnn and she introduced her garment to me, I thought this saved me many steps in the design process, and we started using her garment in our design, and it is just, again, has enhanced the beauty of our work, and our customers just love them.
Okay. Well, Mark, I know that with Spanx or other compression garments, people have a hard time breathing normally. What about Elsa's Curves garment? How is it designed differently so that people have the most comfort?
Well, I don't know if it's a matter of design. I think it's a matter of fit. As Dr. Worster indicated, if the garment is properly fitted, it is going to create the compression that you need without being restrictive. And so it is high enough, as JoAnn indicated, has the straps, so it prevents the garment from rolling down and around the waistline, causing additional compression. And so JoAnn is very much a part of the fitting process, and so she always makes sure that the garment is fit properly to avoid that problem.
Mark, when wearing a compression garment, sometimes it disfigures your body and makes the fat bulge out in different spots. How does Elsa's Curves get rid of that issue?
Well, it's cut high. It has the strap, and so you don't have the roll down that you often have in other compression garments or support garments. It is also cut high on the back to prevent the overflow of flesh around the shoulder blade. And so that whole problem is avoided because of the design of the garment.
And then how about the material? What material do you use for it?
What material do I use for the
garment itself? What type of material?
The type of material that I design with are silks, which lay beautifully over these garments. You don't have any lines. It's going to create a beautiful silhouette on the woman, and so even the most sheer fabrics, such as chiffons or silk charmeuse, just lay beautifully over this garment without any bulging.
Okay. And Mark, what is it that makes the design of this garment stand out amongst others?
Again, I bet it just stays in place. Once it's on, it doesn't move, and it breathes. Women are very comfortable in it. There's access to use the restroom without removing the garment. It comes in a couple different lengths. That the longer leg or the shorter leg can be worn with the slack outfit. And I have recently designed, we'll be introducing soon a skirt version, which will be used with dresses and long skirts.
Now, does it show underneath articles of clothing or dresses in terms of what you are wearing?
Not at all. It's even with the binding, there's a zipper and hooks and eyes that tighten the garment on you. Once that garment is fastened, there are no lines whatsoever that would reveal the fastening location. So it is like a second layer of skin. It's a pretty amazing design.
Now, Mark, I heard that this garment as well was at Oscars week. What do you tell me about that? How was the turnout?
The turnout was great. I joined JoAnn in one of the gifting lounges, and I tell you, the women were very, very impressed with the garment. Many of those women obviously have tried every garment on the market, but we took a very close look at the construction, the complexion nature of it. Some of the women actually tried the garment on during the event. And many of them walked away with us. So it was a very productive session for JoAnn.
Great. Mark, thank you so much for speaking with us about Elza's Curves compression garment, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We're back on Imprint on Yahala Voice, and you're listening to us on our main website at www.yahalavoice.com. We are with guest JoAnn Fakhouri, and joining us we have Dr. Worster as well. Doctor, how does this garment assist in providing upper and lower back support to promote better posture?
Just the compression itself just helps you to align better your posture, keep your back straighter. And many patients that I've had in the past who wore compression garments, like Elsa's Curves, described to me that their back pain was actually much better because of the support.
Oh, wow. I should definitely get that because I've been having a lot of back pain lately. JoAnn, now this particular item is in a very competitive field, and we hear of new compression garments every day. How is Elsa's Curves unlike Spanx or other shapewear garments today?
It was designed different in the sense that we have 4 layers in the front. 4 layers in the front and then 3 layers in the side and the back. And we designed it so it is actually very attractive. I mean, most people, and I'm sure Dr. Worster can attest to this, they're very unattractive garments, and when people wear them, they just want to take them off. But ours, we designed it so the colors, the style, it's more appealing. So even if you're wearing it and people see it, they don't even realize that you're wearing a medical garment or shapewear that, you're embarrassed to even show.
Okay, so what's the purpose of the layering?
The layering that we have, it's 4 layers, but it's breathable. I mean, you can literally pull apart each layer and see each layer as you pull it. So it's not heavy, it's not overbearing. When you wear it, you don't feel like, oh my God, I just got to take this off because it's so hard or heavy. It's light enough, and the layering is designed so it will give you the compression that's needed in those areas.
Now, was pink and black a preference for color choice?
Yeah, we actually did a study, and we surveyed a certain amount of women, and they preferred black or pink.
Okay.
Because in their eyes, they felt like it was more like Victoria's Secret-ish.
Yeah.
Not like just you're going to some, generic place and getting nude or white or something. Yeah.
I would think that the black would work better under darker colored outfits, and then the pink would easily go with any of the later colored.
Yeah.
Before we bring on another individual with a testimonial on air, how does the garment assist in post C-section, doctor?
Well, post C-section and post abdominoplasty, which is a tummy tuck, those are the areas that I've seen it most often used, and it really helps. It even helps with post-operative pain because that compression helps prevent fluid from collecting and even helps them to heal faster.
Okay. Now we have Dr. Eva on the phone with us. She wore the garment after giving birth and is with us to talk about her experience. Thank you for being with us, doctor.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Doctor, what do you tell us about the garment?
JoAnn actually recommended the garment to me shortly after I'd given birth with my second child. I complained so much about the experience after my first child. I had 2 natural deliveries, and so I didn't undergo a C-section, but I vividly recall with the first, all the swelling and, obviously the stretching of the muscles and the skin and the weeks that it takes to get back to, actually months that it takes to get back to that original shape. The garment helped tremendously.
How did it help postpartum?
It sort of held everything together. So, after that natural delivery, you just felt so outstretched. And the garment really helps to pull everything together. I felt so much comfortable moving around. I had no problem nursing because it wasn't obstructive in any way.
Did you feel as if
I actually felt like my recovery was quicker.
Oh, okay. So did you feel as if your body was tightening quicker?
I did.
Okay. Now, what do you say to anyone that is interested in investing in the garment?
Absolutely, especially from my experience postpartum.
Thank you, Dr. Eva, for telling us about your experience, and we wish you the best.
Thanks so much. It was good to be on. Thanks.
Pleasure. Dr. Worster, why do you recommend it to your patients?
Well, you really, if you're doing the kind of procedures that I used to do, tummy tucks and liposuction, and even weight loss, you really can't do without it. If you do a liposuction or a tummy tuck without a good compression garment, then you're going to end up with a surgical disaster or a bad result. So the garment is really, I would say it's about 30 to 40% of the procedure. If you don't have a good, adequate, well-fitting compression, you're not going to get a good result. And then even with weight loss patients, people who are trying to get that preview of what they're going to look like when they lose weight, it helps to inspire them. The compression over the stomach area actually helps to improve early satiety, so it's harder to eat too much because you have that compression on your stomach. So it's great all the way around. I mean, I used a lot of different applications for it. And her garment happens to be the most beautiful and best fitting in addition, so it's all good.
Now, I know that everybody's bodies is different. So some individuals have fat, but it's tight, and some of it is loose. Now, do you think that the individuals that have loose fat, that their body tightens with this garment? I mean, is it helping in any way for an individual to have a body that's more in shape?
Yeah, I think as long as they're also doing something in their personal life to try to help move it in that direction. I don't think it's a miracle garment that's going to, you're going to put it on once, then take it off, and your body's going to be permanently in that shape. Or
don't we wish?
But if it's worn religiously, and then you're doing the other things right, like trying to diet, trying to exercise, and all those type of things, then I think it's just part of the process. It's a very great adjunct to have.
Okay. Well, Dr. Worster, I want to thank you for being with us today and for all the medical advice you've given us.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. And we'll be right back with more with JoAnn Fakhouri. And we're back on Imprint on Yahala Voice, and you're listening to us on our main website at www.yahalavoice.com. And we're with our guest, JoAnn Fakhouri. Welcome again, JoAnn.
Thank you, Nesreen.
JoAnn, you also produce Window Lies, which is a silent film. Tell us about that.
So Window Lies is a project that was actually done for the students at Robert Morris that Sayed Bedreya was brought on to teach that course. And it's a neat film because it's completely silent, and it's black and white, and it was done on actual film.
Okay.
It was not digital. And it's cute. It's a short film, 5 minutes, and that was the drive behind it, was to enlighten and teach these students how to create from a film, actual film perspective.
Now, did you produced the film? Did you act in the film as well?
Yes, I was the main like person who I mean, you have to see the film to understand, but yeah, I was the main character.
Okay, that's great. Now, JoAnn, I know you mentioned to me that you are going to have a Pediatrics Cancer Foundation event.
We are sponsoring. It's for Bare Necessities, and Mark Roscoe, the designer that you were speaking with, he's actually creating 2 dresses, 2 long formal gowns for the main MCs, who are also the owners of the organization. And he's using our shapewear as the foundation garment for that event. So it's neat.
Now, I know Mark and I were talking about the Oscars. Tell me about your experience at the Oscars last year.
It was very nice, actually. We were asked to participate in it, and so our shapewear line was out there, and Mark's gowns were out there, and he was approached by different celebrities, Elizabeth Shatner and Sophia Milos. They were very interested in wearing his gowns for the event, so that was really, really nice. And then our shapewear, we presented it to the different designers out there, and the celebrities now wear it, which is great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great. So, you want to throw some names out there?
Yeah, Jane Lynch, Sophia Milos, Val Warner from Windy City. And we still have more people that we're approaching, but I mean, we're happy because everybody who wears it loves it.
So where do you see your company 5 years from now?
Well, what's great about what we're doing with this line is we've developed a skirt version, and Vera Wang bridal gowns love it, and they want to use it for their gowns.
Okay, that's great.
So that's the future of what we see.
Hopefully.
With this line, yeah.
I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thanks.
JoAnn, you're involved in charity work as well.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
There's several projects that I've been involved in from years past and future events like the Pediatrics Cancer Foundation, but also I'm co-chairing the National Melkite Convention, which is being hosted this year in Chicago. And we are excited because it's a 4-day event, and we have 3 big events happening at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And we're bringing in the singer Shadi Jamil.
Oh, great.
And Danny Ashar, and we're having the comedian Amr Zahed. And there are 3 different nights. We have a package that we're selling, or you could buy the individual events.
Where is that taking place again?
It's at the Hyatt Regency downtown Wacker.
Okay, great.
And during the day, we have workshops, spiritual workshops, and then in the evening, we're having different haflas and galas and parties.
Now, do you have a website that you could give our listeners?
Yes, absolutely. It's www.melkite49.com. So if they log on there, it'll take them into the actual website, and they can see all the different events and what we're having. And it's huge. It's a national event, so we're hoping that people from all over the states will attend. And we look forward to all your listeners attending as well.
Definitely. And us as well. We'll definitely be there to support the event.
Yes, that would be great.
We'll be right back.
Listen to the radio. Listen to
Yahala Voice.
JoAnn, before we went up for the song, you were telling me a little bit more about the 49th Annual Malachite National Event. Share some more with our listeners.
Oh, it actually takes place 4th of July weekend. So it's July 3rd through the 6th.
And then the first day is going to be, is it all going to be at the Hyatt?
No, the Thursday night will be at El Hamra, and then the Friday and Saturday night is at the Hyatt Regency.
So what's going to happen throughout the event?
During the day, we have different workshops. We're bringing in different speakers to talk about different topics, primarily focusing on peace. And then in the evening is the different themed events. So each night is a different theme with a different entertainer.
Oh, great.
And dinner.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about your work that's happening now. I know that you're working on a short film titled A Haunted Laugh.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
This is a short film that I wrote, and it's actually the first film I've written, but we're looking to shoot in April.
Mm-hmm.
And our director is actually flying in from Italy, which will be exciting.
Okay.
And it's a comedy. It's a sort of like a little dark comedy. And it's about a Middle Eastern girl who has a passion for comedy, but she's really bad at it.
Okay.
But part of her obstacles are her her environment, like society, holding her back because she's Middle Eastern and they don't want her to do comedy, and it's not considered something.
Now, are you planning on having that in any film festivals coming up?
Yes, I am hoping that next year, once we finish editing, we can submit it in a lot of film festivals, yeah.
Okay. Now, how about Bride of the Nile?
Bride of the Nile was written by Sayed Badreya, and this is a movie that, it's a feature, and it is focusing on human trafficking in the Middle East. So it's actually an excellent script. He wrote it, and it took him years to research and study and understand the history and the concept and what's involved, and he did a lot of underground.
So are you producing that film as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you're producing all these films.
Yeah.
Are you having a part in the films as well, or is it just producing?
For Haunted Laugh, I am one of the characters.
Okay.
For Bride, no. It has not been decided.
Okay, let's not bring that up then. JoAnn, what else do you have coming up?
There's always different other charities that I'm involved in, and they're approaching me now on it, so I haven't committed to them yet, but there's always things happening, popping up left and right.
Right. JoAnn, I want to thank you for being with us today, but before we go, I want you to let our listeners know how they can purchase their own Elsa's Curves compression garment.
Yes, if you log on to www.elsascurves.com, or you can log on to www.jujuselect.com. It's carried on both websites, and there's a breakdown of the styles, the colors, explanations, the benefits, testimonials, more testimonials than what they've heard today, and shipping, and we can ship anywhere.
Now, just remind us of the sizes once more of the garment.
So the garments come from medium through 3XL.
Okay.
And what's important is it's based on your measurements of your hips and your waist. And people think, if I wear, like, say, hypothetically, Spanx, and they can go into, like, a size small. I mean, this is a compression garment. It's not going to stretch with your body. So you really have to be very specific about the inches, because, if it's not the right fit, it's not going to fit you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once more, JoAnn. And there you have it, everyone. Once more, we were with JoAnn Fakhouri, an award-winning film producer and owner of Juju Select, on the show Imprint. Make sure to check out the re-airing of this interview on Sunday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Timing. From me, Nesreen, Ballut, and all of Yahala Voice, have a great night.
Thank you.